So somebody on my TikTok asked if this weapon, the Fruit of Fulfillment, was good on Nahida. And I wanted to make a video responding to them to answer that question and to talk about more characters than just Nahida for this weapon. But I also thought this might make a good video for YouTube, so that's what we're doing here. The comment simply was just, is the Fruit of Fulfillment a good weapon for Nahida? So with that being said, let's get into this video. Now, first, we're going to look at the weapon, what it does, and then we're going to look at Nahida and then some other characters. So, the Fruit of Fulfillment is the craftable weapon from Sumeru. You do get the blueprint from finishing, or mostly finishing, the R&R quest. This is a catalyst, and it does get up energy recharge as its main stat, and its passive can help you get some EM. So, whenever you use it, you get the wax and wane effect, which means that after an elemental reaction occurs, which this character has to trigger the elemental reaction, they will gain 24 elemental mastery. This is at R1, while losing 5% of their attack. Now, they did drop the attack as the caveat. One of these effects, one of these stacks, can be obtained every 0.3 seconds with a max of 5 stacks. So that is 120 elemental mastery. Now, Nahida does want elemental mastery. However, there are much better options for Nahida, including the 3-star weapon Magic Guide. Magic Guide is going to get up elemental mastery way more than the Fruit of Fulfillment. And Nahida doesn't need the energy recharge. Her burst cost isn't that high. So while this can be an okay weapon for her, it's nowhere near a good weapon. It's an okay weapon. It's not a good weapon for Nahida because you want as much elemental mastery on Nahida. And like the Magic Guide or Sacrificial Fragments or even Mappa Mar, which is the craftable catalyst in Mondstadt, is going to give more EM than this weapon right here. Now, with that being said, let's look at some characters that this is good for. So, number 1 is going to be Lisa. Now, Lisa would like the energy recharge because of her burst. Her burst does do electro damage in an AoE, drops the defense of enemies, and it can cause reactions, even when Lisa's not on the field. So while this weapon would be much more useful for like on-field Lisa, you can use her burst to get all of these elemental mastery stacks up to just give her an extra 120 EM. Lisa does get elemental mastery with Ascension, so building EM on Lisa is easier than some other characters. So she can make okay use out of this. Next, we're going to look at Coco. Now, this would be an extremely niche Kokomi, like a vaporized Kokomi, right? Because she will be able to trigger the passive with her skill even when she's not on the field, so you would have the ability to keep these stacks up pretty frequently. She would like the energy recharge because if you're using her burst a lot, but the only reason she would need the elemental mastery is if she's causing like vaporized reactions. So this would be for a very niche on-field damage vaporized Kokomi. Outside of that really niche situation, Kokomi is not going to be able to use. But I thought, why not mention a super niche one in this video? So next is going to be Mona. And Mona is going to really appreciate the energy recharge from this because Mona's burst is the thing that you use Mona for. Now, she can trigger the passive with her skill a little bit, but Mona's really not going to be using that much EM per se. So this won't be as good on her, but she would appreciate the energy recharge. Last, we're going to talk about the character that can probably use it the best, and that is going to be Yae Miko. Now, one thing with this is that the character with this equipped has to trigger the elemental reactions. So Yae Miko can drop all 3 of her turrets, go off the field, and still get the passive from this weapon. Now, with Yae Miko's slower electro skill, you can always guarantee that she is the one causing the reactions to keep the stacks up. You could have a faster Dendro applicator if you're doing like an aggravate set, and this would allow her to make sure that you are applying the Dendro first, and then she is causing the reactions to get the stacks up. Now, she would also really like the energy recharge because Yae Miko has one of the highest energy costs in the game at 90. So having ER on Yae Miko would be really good. So out of all the characters that's probably in the game currently, Yae Miko would be able to use this weapon the best. It is still nowhere near her best weapon, and there are much better options out there, but Yae Miko is the character that can use this the best. This is probably like one of the worst Sumeru weapons because Sapwood Blade is so good. And I will at some point make a video on all of the craftable weapons starting in Mondstadt going all the way through Fontaine. I just gotta tackle them one at a time. And this is just because somebody asked this. So that's why I'm making this video right now. That is gonna be it for this video. If you have any questions, do be sure to leave it in the comments. Myself or somebody else will be sure to answer it, and I will see you in the next one.